This is Gay Polk-Payton. To say that I am ashamed of the fact that I have not recorded a video blog since August 28, 2014 will be the understatement of the year. I cannot believe that it has been that long since I recorded a blog. This would be blog number 27, I think, because the last one was 26, turning me into we. And that was the last blog that I did. Right after that, or right before that, I started my radio show, Gays PSA, that you can listen to on Fridays by clicking on the link www.gayspsa.com. You can listen at 4:30 Central Time and 5:30 Eastern Time each week to Gays PSA. I talk about varying issues. Last month I did a fantastic series on cuffing season and dealing with the issues relating to that, the religious issues relating to that, the psychological issues relating to that, and the parenting issues that are related to that. And I love talking about things like that that matter to people, and I know that they matter to at least one person, who is me. And so I share my insight, and I bring people on the air with me to share different insights with regard to those issues. Today I'm going to do a blog about when to say when. A lot of times in relationships, we think that we've hit a little snag in the road. And, I did a PSA a couple of weeks ago about, slowing down. And sometimes slowing down is used to turn a corner, and sometimes slowing down is used to stop. But we have to know when the slowing down should be because it's time to stop, or if the slowing down is because it's time to turn a corner. Because if you keep slowing down to turn corners, depending on how many right turns you make or how many left turns you make, you can continue to turn until you just keep making a block and going into circles. You remember that song? You gotta be going in circles. Like that. You be going in circles round and round and round, and you're not making any progress in your life. So, you come to a point where you got to know when it's time to slow down and just stop. And that way you can figure out what's going on with you, what's going on with your relationship, and whether or not you got issues in that relationship that are just so untenable that it's just useless and you're just going in circles trying to fix something that can't be fixed. So one of the things that you got to do when you're thinking about these situations and knowing when to say when is you got to look at the relationship itself. Is the relationship just for convenience? Are you in this relationship because you don't want to be by yourself? Are you in the relationship because there is no other person on the planet that you would consider being with? Or is it that you just rather have somebody than nobody? And so many times people will do that. They'll stay in a relationship just so they will have the convenience of having somebody when they need to go to a party, when they need to go to an event and they want somebody on their arm, or if they just, it's cuffing season, it's cold outside and you don't want to sleep by yourself. I mean, a lot of times people will have relationships for the benefit of convenience, and that's not a reason to be in a relationship. You got to make sure that you're in the relationship because that's what you really want. Some people are in relationships because of money. They are with somebody who, makes a better living than they do. And so that person is able to provide them with some of the things in life that they can't afford themselves. And so they stay in a relationship because of money. I mean, I've known women who have stayed with men who were beating them, who were abusing them physically, emotionally, cheating on them, but they stayed because they knew that they didn't have the money to take care of their household on their own. So they were just there because of money. And so, but that's not a reason to stay in a relationship. Money, you can make your own money, or you can find a man who, have a man find you. I always say find a man, but I'm really, really against a woman finding a man. I just want to put that out there. I'm really against that. I think that a man should find a woman, especially if they're considering marriage, because the Bible says when a man findeth a wife, he finds a good thing. Because if you end up looking for a man, you're going to find what you want, what looks good to you, and just might not be good for you. So that's why you have to let the man find you. And just be still. Be still and don't try to rush it. Just, if it's time for you to have love in your life, you will have love in your life. But if it's not time, just know when to say when so you can move on. So we have people who are in relationships for convenience, and we have people who are in relationships for money, and we also have people who are in relationships for other reasons. And we just put this in the other category. You just got other stuff going on, like Facebook. You have put your relationship out on Facebook, and now everybody knows that you are with this woman. Everybody knows you are with this man, and you are embarrassed because you don't want to tell nobody we ain't together no more. Why? What difference does that make? If y'all ain't together no more, that's not anything to be embarrassed about. It's embarrassing when you stay in a relationship that you don't need to be in because of the fact that that's what everybody expects you to do. It's embarrassing when you go through with a marriage that you shouldn't go through with because that's what everybody expects you to do. That's embarrassing. That's what should be embarrassing to you. You shouldn't be embarrassed about moving on with your life and knowing when to say when. In the last month, I have known of, at least personally, I know 5 people under the age of 50 who have died in the last month. I mean, just different causes, gunshot, heart attack, heart failure, stroke, car accident. I mean, freak accident at work where one young man, a limb fell on him at work. I mean, it was just horrible, horrible stories I've been hearing about young people who have died and who have lost their ability to make any changes in their lives. So if you are watching this video, that means you are yet alive and you still have the potential to make a change in your life and to make sure that you don't end up going in circles and keep making left turns or keep making right turns, and you end up going in a circle, making a block, and you're not making any progress. Sometimes you have to stop, look both ways, and realize that it's time to move forward and move on. You can't keep going in circles. You can't keep slowing down, looking to your left, looking to your right, decide to make a left turn. Okay, I'm going to get to this next corner. I'm going to see, should I go right or should I go, I'm going to make another left turn. And next thing you know, you've made the block. You right back where you started from. What progress has been made from that? You have to know what you want. You have to know what you need. And then you have to ask yourself some very, very difficult questions about whether or not your mate is providing you with these things that you need. You have to realize that if you are just allowing things to happen to you, you are just a pawn in the game that is your life. You have to take control. You have to take dominion, ruling, and control over your own life. Otherwise, you will be a pawn in the game that is your life. And you only get one life. So that means you have to take control of it. You got to be the king of your own destiny. You have to be the queen of your own destiny. And you have to make decisions for yourself instead of reacting to the decisions made by people who are strong enough to make difficult decisions. Those are bad situations to be in. That's a bad position to be in life when you're grown. And when you're a child, it's all right. Everybody making your decisions for you. You're a child, and, that's fine. That's fine. But once you get to a point where you're an adult, you're a grown woman or you're a grown man, then, other people's actions should not dictate your actions. You can't be waiting around and see, I'm going to see what so-and-so does about this, and then I'll make a decision about that. No, sir. No, sir. I ain't waiting on you to tell me nothing. You ain't got to do nothing before I make a decision. I know that if I apply for a job, and I didn't get that job, I know I still got to pay rent. So I'm not going to sit around and wait for them to call me from that job. I'm going to keep on hustling the way I've been hustling. I'm going to keep the job I got, keep on hustling until I find out that situation will work for me. But I'm not going to wait on somebody else to determine what my destiny is. So basically, this PSA is just meant to tell you to know when to say when. Know when to say when to a bad job situation. Know when to say when to a bad relationship situation. Don't stay in situations because of convenience, because of money, and because of other factors that don't even matter. Find your own destiny, know your own destiny, know your way to that destiny, and you'll get there. But if you continue to let things happen, then you're going to end up being a victim of circumstance. So don't put yourself in that position. Just put yourself in a position where you know when to say when this is over, this is done. I got to move on with my life, and you need to move on with your life. Let's make room for the right person to come into our lives, or let's make room on this job for the right person to have this job, because this job ain't right for me. It's just like you got to know when to say when, because if you don't know when to say when, you're going to end up pushing yourself back and giving yourself another excuse to stay. It's like when me and a dog and a woman out, and she's like, well, he hit me in my left eye, but I can still see good at my right eye. Really? Really, girl? Put that stuff down. Know when to say when. Life is too short. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. Those are lyrics from the song The Gambler. But don't gamble with your life, because you very well may crap out and not have any more time left to make any changes. Know when to say when. This has been Gay Polk-Payton with Gay's PSA. Have a good week.